The House has been back in session for less than 24 hours, and Republicans, they have already lost their minds. These are people who were gladly enjoying their 8-week paid vacation until the mean Democrats brought them back to Congress to swear in Adelita Grijalva and explain the fact that millions of people are about to lose their health care because Republicans don't give a shit. Now, of course, they didn't like that. They preferred their paid vacation. They preferred their pedophile protection. And when it was pointed out to them that they have spent 8 weeks doing nothing and are about to inflict pain on millions of Americans, they didn't take too kindly to it. We're going to get into the screaming match that erupted because Republicans got so upset. But before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button because it goes a long way in supporting our work. Now, before we get into that screaming match, I want to start with someone who so precisely picked his Republican colleagues apart. That was Joe Neguse right here. Yeah, they weren't happy about this.
Quote, "Let's not fund a government that's going to be exacting tyranny over our American brothers and sisters." Full length of the interview is available here, and some key quotes are below. This is from the gentleman from Texas, Mr. Roy's website, November of 2021. Should any Republican vote to fund an executive branch? In other words, should Article 1, Congress, which has the power of the purse as the founders gave us, should we give any dollars to the executive branch for President Biden to issue unconstitutional and unlawful mandates that are causing people to have to choose between their livelihoods and getting a vaccine which they don't want? Let's stand united. Let's not do what these 13 Republicans did last Friday and go side with Nancy Pelosi. Let's not fund a government that's going to be exacting tyranny over our American brothers and sisters. This is from Mr. Roy. Spare me. Hold on. No, Mr. Roy, it's my time. It's my time. You certainly made that clear with the chairwoman. Spare us. Mr. Cole, perhaps, I think, as I said, can have some clean hands to talk to us about this particular set of circumstances we find ourselves in. You cannot. There might be other colleagues of yours, I think, who might share Mr. Cole's worldview, but I don't know. I thought I've heard everything in Congress, but to hear my colleague from Texas, his indignation about the government shutdown as he instigated and tried to instigate shutdown after shutdown, just 3 years ago, 4 years ago. This isn't distant memory. In any event, I digress. Mr. Cole, how many days has the House of Representatives been in session since August 3rd?
Couldn't tell you off the top of my head.
12 days sound about right?
Something like that.
I can represent to you that the House, since August 3rd, has been in session for a total of 12 days. I don't know if you're familiar with Steve Bannon. I suspect you are, yes?
Never met him.
Never met him. You know of him.
If you read the newspapers, you know of him.
Yeah, it's not a trick question. You know Steve Bannon exists.
No,
all right.
sir, I know who he is.
Okay, there was a report recently where Steve Bannon compared the U.S. Congress under Speaker Johnson to the Duma, allegedly. You think that's an apt comparison?
No, I don't.
No. Would it surprise you to know that the Duma has been in session longer this fall than the United States House of Representatives?
I don't know that the Duma sessions make very much difference.
Well, I'm not so sure they make much difference here, given the way in which Republicans are capitulating to every demand that President Trump makes. I think it is shameful that the House has been in session for 12 days since August 3rd. 54 days out of session. You cannot possibly, Chairman, you've been in Congress for some time. You can't possibly defend a 54-day recess, the second longest recess in the modern history of the Congress. You would defend that?
Just precision accuracy in the humiliation of these Republicans. And they always just get so slimy in their answers. They're not witty. These people aren't quick, but they think that just their lack of response and their indignation towards like real questions makes them seem tough. Or like that they're cool. Oh, I don't even give a shit what you're saying. These guys are such jokes. We know you don't want to be there. We know you'd rather be with your billionaire buddies or doing your pedophile protection, but that's not what's happening tonight. Sorry, you got to do the job that you asked people to elect you to do. What a crying shame that is. And when that was pointed out to Virginia Fox, one of the worst Republicans in Congress, she didn't take too kindly to it, and a screaming match erupted. as we can see right here.
Thank you, Ms. Bonamici. Ms. Ansari, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Welcome back from your 8 weeks of taxpayer-funded vacation. It's good to see you, and I hope
I'm going to interrupt you.
Republicans
I'm going to
enjoy-
interrupt you, please.
Please.
I am sick and tired of hearing you all say we had an 8-week vacation.
That's exactly what happened.
I worked every day. I don't know about you, but I don't want to
worked
hear
every single
another
day as
soul
well. We all worked
say that.
every single day, and that's exactly what happened with Speaker Mike Johnson.
You're recognized.
I hope that you all enjoyed yourselves while American families looked at their letters from their health insurance companies, terrified that their insurance premiums were going to double or triple while the House was out of session for 53 days. That is unacceptable, Madam Chair.
That right there is the fuck you energy that is clearly missing in the United States Senate. If we could just take some of that and inject it into the veins of a Dick Durbin, of a Tim Kaine, of a Catherine Cortez Masto, maybe we'd be in a better place if that energy, you have been on vacation, so shut these complaints up. Oh, you're tired of hearing criticism about your lack of care for your job or your constituents? Do you know who's really got it a little tougher than you, Virginia? Oh, boo-hoo, you have to face down complaints? What about people who are going to face down their medical costs, their premiums exploding right now? Do you think it's tougher for them or for you? That is the energy that we need. And it didn't stop from Congresswoman Yasemin Ansari, because she continued ripping Republicans to shreds, especially on the Epstein scandal. This clip right here.
41 days of unpaid federal workers and families losing access to food assistance. 41 days of families skipping meals and seniors delaying care because Donald Trump chose to use hunger and health care as leverage. The callousness and corruption is astounding. Donald Trump and Speaker Mike Johnson, throughout this entire time, did absolutely nothing. They did not lift a finger to try to negotiate a real solution on any of this. What was Donald Trump doing during this time? I know that he announced plans for his $350 million ballroom funded by billionaires and corporations. I know that he was traveling around the world to Asia. He hosted a huge Great Gatsby party. I don't know if anyone here was invited. The night before, 42 million Americans lost access to SNAP assistance. He is acting like a king while millions of people in this country are suffering. That is unacceptable. And Speaker Mike Johnson, throughout this time, he has not just enabled this corruption, he has actively participated in it. That's why I staked outside of his office last week, to be absolutely clear about what's been happening. Mike Johnson is starving Americans and gutting health care to cover up the Epstein files. And I want to explain exactly why and how he's doing so, because the public deserves to understand it very clearly. Congresswoman-elect Adelita Grijalva, who is from my state of Arizona, would be and will be the 218th signature on the discharge petition. 218 is the number needed to force a vote on the floor, whether the speaker wants one or not. And when Adelita is seated tomorrow, finally, after 49 days since she was elected to the U.S. House of Representatives, Speaker Johnson's going to lose control. Because then every single member of Congress on the Republican side and our side will have to go on the record and answer one very simple question. Do you want to support and protect the release of the Epstein files, or do you want to protect the names of the men who were involved in the crimes? That's the vote that Speaker Johnson has been running from. There's been plenty of reporting that the White House and Speaker Johnson have been actively working throughout this entire period to threaten the 4 Republican members of Congress who are on the discharge petition, to get one of them to come off of that discharge petition, because that is their number one priority. That's what's been happening. It is a cover-up, and Speaker Johnson must and should be investigated. Now Republicans want to move on.
This is what I want to be seeing 24/7 from Democrats in Congress. Take no prisoners, take no shit, rip into them on Epstein constantly, make them more tired than they already are about hearing about their own failure. And that is what it is. It is a failure But it is also, to Mike Johnson, a great success. A great success that they have been able to delay this long. That it wasn't weeks ago that Adelita Grijalva was sworn in. And we need to continue to make that point. Adelita Grijalva said tonight, as I'm recording right now, in an interview with Caitlin Collins, that in her speech tomorrow, that if you're watching this, which you will be, on Wednesday, that in her speech, she is going to reference the fact, not so subtly, that Mike Johnson kept her from being sworn in, that he broke the law in doing so. And I do not want to move on from that so quickly. I don't want us to forget. I don't want us to say, yippee, we got the job done, everything's fine. That was a test run for what Donald Trump is hoping to do in the midterms. And then if that goes well, if that attack on our democracy goes well, then Donald Trump's going to run back that same playbook come 2028. So if we forget what happened with Adelita Grijalva, which I know you will not, but the mainstream media, their short attention span, they surely will. We're not going to learn anything from it. Nothing's going to change. There needs to be accountability. What I'd like to see is not just Adelita Grijalva, but Dems backing her up. I'd love to see this from Hakeem Jeffries. Show a little backbone. Don't just do this in a strongly worded letter, but go and give a speech in which you say, hey, Donald Trump, Saram Mamdani style, turn the volume up. Mike Johnson, turn the volume up. I would say to Mike Johnson, keep all of your text messages, keep all of your emails, keep any written document, you, your staff, anyone around you. Keep it all, because we are going to be doing investigations into this criminal act. Not just the cover-up of the Epstein files more broadly, but your literal attack on our democracy through his refusal to swear in Adelita Grijalva. Any message you sent to anyone, it's not just you, Mike. Your whole staff is going to get got. There will be accountability across the board. I want Democrats pissed off. I want people pissed off right now. Not just because they should be, but because apparently Democrats in the Senate need their little handheld. And so I am counting on Democrats in the House. Please have a little pushback, have a little energy, have a little bit, of course, of what Yasemin Ansari gave tonight. Watch that clip. Like, let that be your hype up music before you go out, and please do your job. I don't know why I have to say this. I know why I have to say it, because I watched Sunday night. I watched the capitulation. I watched the failure of leadership from Chuck Schumer. But why do I have to tell these people to do their jobs? Shouldn't they just do their jobs? Didn't you and I already vote for our elected leaders? Do we have to continue to push them? Yes, we do, unfortunately. Unfortunately, you and I do. I wish they would just do it on their own. They're clearly not. But this is a process that we continue to engage with. I'm losing it a little bit. I'm a little bit furious just at the lack of accountability from Republicans, sure. Lack of accountability from establishment Democrats, sure. But just a lot is pissing me off. But I'm also glad it's pissing Jim McGovern off, because he had this to say.
I mean, look what's happening. Trump's reckless tariffs continue to wreak havoc on the economy. He says food prices are way down. That's coming from a guy who dines on caviar at Mar-a-Lago. He's never shopped for groceries a day in his life. He doesn't have to pick between plastic or paper. But his tariffs are costing the average American household over $1,200 this year. And next year, it will be $1,600. That's money for groceries, for bills, for rent, taken out of the American people's wallets. And he's not even hiding it. He's rubbing it in. Trump is literally renovating his bathroom in marble and gold and posting about it on social media, while regular people are getting letters saying that their health care premiums are going up by $1,000. People are struggling to stay afloat, and this guy's golfing. He had Air Force One fly over a football game. How much did that cost? He shut down the...
All of it. Say all of it. Keep hitting them, please. I love it. This is fantastic. This is how we got to fight. This is what we're going to be covering on the show. If you want to support that, as always, hit that subscribe button. Leave a like on this video. If you stuck around to the end, drop a blue heart in the comments. Keep on fighting, y'all. Don't let them silence you. And until next time, I'll see you soon.